What is it?
Hello and welcome to The Essential Gamer. You're watching What Is It with me, Lee, and what it is Space Otter Charlie, a zero-G platforming shooter adventure where you play an otter. Now, you know what I think of games with animals in them, so I'm actually very happy about playing as a space-bound otter, which is exactly what you're doing. You play Charlie, an otter that has gone to space after leaving Earth many years after humans did, in search of a better place to colonise and call home, and him and his ragtag crew of fellow space otters, space sea otters? Otters in space! Managed to find their way along the path that the humans have left for them, visiting various space stations and ships, doing various missions on the way. I mean, it's an otter in a spacesuit doing puzzles and physics-based exploration. Tell me something not to like about that. It's very hard to dislike Space Otter Charlie, simply because he's an otter in a spacesuit. And otters in spacesuits deserve our love and recognition. Especially one as cute as this guy. So yeah, you traverse various maps of various difficulty using different physics-based things. So it could be bouncing substances off reflective surfaces, it could be floating in a particular way, manipulating electricity and all these sort of things, collecting materials and finding schematics and bits and bobs to help your little otter friends find that magical colony in the big blue. Great concept. I was sold as soon as I heard it was otters in spacesuits, to be honest. So yes, it is mainly a puzzle-based game, I'd say. There are shooting elements, there are baddies to get, but this little otter is generally solving puzzles. So it could be hidden routes, it could be opening doors through hidden means, it could be using physics of weapons and projectile trajectory to push items in zero-G to, I don't know, block a camera or open a door or make something safe so you can try. There's lots of different ways that Space Otter Charlie tests you, and it's really satisfying actually, because it's not a barrage of the same kind of thing. I mean, once the puzzles sort of could potentially become too repetitive, it's time to blast something, and it's got a very nice balance between the two. The puzzle solving, you know, open the door, find the key, solve the puzzle, find the clues to help you do a thing, and find the repetition. All of these things come in really nicely with the sort of getting used to zero-G travelling, and it's this sort of getting used to these things that make the combat feel really nice. So the combat is obviously, again, in zero-G, so there's lots of things to think about. You're going to float away, things are going to float towards you, angles, trajectory, blah-de-blah-de-blahs. But there's such a nice variety between the different kinds of common enemies and the boss battles and the items that you can craft and pick up along the way to help you in this exploration of deep space with this little furball. It just keeps it ticking nicely, like the sort of puzzle sections and the platforming sections ramp up in difficulty quite nicely with each area that you go to. The first boss, this big TV security system thing, is a nice simple way of getting you used to the kind of thing that will happen. What the hell is that? Oh, it's my own little fur otter. My cat's trying to bust in the middle of a recording. How excellent. But speaking of unwanted critters, most of the things on the space stations and the new locations that you do visit in Space Otter Charlie don't really want you there. I mean, the love for furry little critters in spacesuits is clearly not universal. And as such, there is a training mode which will get you used to all of the weapons and sort of abilities that each item that you can get will give you, and hopefully you'll stop yourself dying. Well, actually, no, you won't. Because, the devs hate you, and they want you to die. This is animal cruelty, and I'm going to report you to the RSPCA for numerous deaths against space otters. You horrible buggers. It's quite hard. So yeah, all this prancing about in 0G isn't for no reason. As I say, you're trying to get your ragtag crew of otters from one part of space, a dying Earth, to a new part of space, a not so dying Earth. And in the process of this, you gather energy sources which are used to buy your various friends travel to your travelling space station, the raft. And also from the raft, you get your mission given to you by Ada, who's the ship's captain. There's also a build bot which you can go to. You'll find these scattered around the different maps and locations, and basically you find the resources and the blueprint, take it to a build bot. A build bot will make the upgrade for you, whether it be an item, a weapon, a new suit, or some sort of traversal upgrade, or that sort of thing, and ta-da, there you go, you've got a new thing. Nicely done. Also, from the raft, your spaceship, you go to the navigation, and this is where you can pick each new area to go to. Some of these are training, some of these are side missions, some of these are main mission quests, and it's quite a nice variation of location. There is also a co-op mode. I suppose it's not co-op because it's purely mano-y-mano, but you and up to 3 other friends can beat the crap out of each other's as space otters. So that's the thing you can do here. There's 2 modes, 6 maps, and lots of blasting lasers at other otters. So you can mangle each other, little space otter friends, but not friends. My favourite detail about Space Otter Charlie is the fact that there are sea urchins, which are now space urchins, and when an otter munches them, they turn Super Saiyan. If you weren't sold on cute little space otters in space and spacesuits already, look, he's now got glowing red eyes and a rainbow coming out of his arse. So Space Otter Charlie is pretty decent actually. It's got an art style as cute as its main characters, it's got some puzzles that are actually quite challenging, it's got some shooting which is fun, and some writing which is highly amusing. The only negatives that I had were too many loading screens between each moment, but they don't last very long, and the odd little blip of stutter here and then as it loads in something on screen. Besides that, Space Otter Charlie is a thoroughly enjoyable experience, and you oughter try it out. Oh, come on, that was good, right? Guys?